Hello, it's Anya Divine here. Have a look at the links below to know more about me. Sorry, I'm doing a quick video of the iris at the top of the picture there, see? And I'm going to do just some collage. I've torn out little bits already that will represent the yellowish petals. And then I'll use my non-dominant hand, my left hand, in order to explain the shape, which is just glorious there, of the undulating petals elsewhere. And maybe I'll do something with watercolour to describe the stem and the leaves possibly. We'll see. All to play for. Okay, thanks for joining me. If it's your first time, you're very welcome. Thanks very much to those of you who are here all the time. It's lovely to be in your company again. This is no longer really sore. It just looks a bit unsightly. Okay, so it's a bit shiny, the paper. Don't know if you can really see, but I'm just gonna leave you far away for now so you can see the shape of the thing that I'm doing, and then I'll bring you in a bit closer to what I'm actually drawing here a little bit more clearly in a minute. So I'm just putting on these little collaged flowers I found that to me look a little bit like the shape of the petals of the iris. I thought I'd begin there, and then I'm going to bring you in closer so that you can see. No longer see the iris, but you'll see what's happening on the page, hopefully. And like I said I'd use my non-dominant hand, didn't I? So I'm just using this pen to find the shape of the iris. Oh, it's quite nice being steady and slow and changing to the gold pen, because this is a gold acrylic pen, because it looks to me more like it'll show off the shape and the colour. So I have this particular petal over here a bit more than the black. Yeah. And this is a silver one, then I think I'll use the silver to describe the white petal that's extending up the way here. Quite nice using my non-dominant hand. I always feel a little bit more settled in my belly when I'm drawing with my left hand, for me, and it causes me to really be still, and I feel like I select what's important more easily. I'm going to change again now. Let's see what this is. Mightn't be any line. No, it's pink. Just want it to be thinner because that part there has got light falling on it, and then there's a bit that extends up here, and I'm looking at the shape of the space between parts as well as the parts themselves. This is a nice thin petal that runs up there, and then it's hiding behind the arc of this other one. So I think I'm going to go back to the silver now for those, and actually for some of this I'll use the silver as well. Bit that's underneath is in shadow there. And I think this bit under here too could be drawn with the silver rather than the pink. No, it's not quite parallel to that. They come closer together, they converge a little bit more as they come down here, so that's good. Still with the non-dominant hand, and as I was saying, it causes me to slow down. It inhibits me just enough, like that I have to take care. I want this to be thin. I don't want it to be pink, really. Just a thinner version. We'll see. I might paint the background up to meet that too. Okay. Inhibits me just enough that I tune out the thinking mind and focus instead on really capturing what it is that I'm seeing here. I'm doing my best to look at the shape of the space between parts now. And there's some convoluted things happening here, lots of different parts overlapping, which makes for a very exciting, attentive exciting. It makes for more of that kind of delicious attention. Through necessity, I need to be attentive to the twists and turns of the iris here, because it's not straightforward. And I am conscious that with the left hand I've a little bit more of a clumsy, it's a bit clumsier in my left hand, but I tolerate the clumsiness because it brings something else too that's worth it. Maybe it's a childlike quality, I don't know. Fresh, curious. Here's another silver. It's a silver acrylic pen. I think it'll be brighter than the Sharpie. Oh, maybe not. Not really brighter, no. And now I'll use the green. So, working slowly, finding where the edge is green. I like this green pen. I may embellish this green with some of my watercolour sap green too later on. I like this green so much that I'm going to put it over here as well. And on this side of the yellowish petal here, just so that it's made more clear. Okay. What I had thought I would do then, I can use my dominant hand now, I think this time. Hang on, did I miss one? I missed some things here. Yeah, there's an arc here that I missed. And there's a little white one there. And maybe I could extend that all the way down and let it be overlapped there too. Okay. I'm quite fancy putting some silver on there, because what really appeals to me is the clarity of the iris. I'm using my dominant hand here now. I had thought that I would paint over it, but watercolour won't really cut it over the shiny magazine paper, so just for that bit. And, well, maybe that bit, but actually that bit does have another petal behind it that I had missed. So I'm sticking with my dominant hand for this one, just to paint the gold petal behind this one. So this is gold acrylic ink. Okay, and what I want to do now is to find a colour in the watercolour that I can use for the background as a way of painting up the background to meet the edge of the bright, almost lilac white flower. And I'm making a Payne's greyish tone, hopefully. A little bit of the alizarin in there. Make a tone that'll read not unlike that, really, is my plan. So I'm using Van Dyke Brown, Ultramarine Blue, and I think I put a touch of alizarin crimson in there as well. And I like the watercolour because in places it'll accumulate and it'll be darker. I may leave the water on it, it'll contain the pigment a little bit more in those places that I want it to be darker. There we are. Okay, and I'll explain the rest of the outside of that petal. And in here there's a lovely dark background shape that describes the iris through finding the negative space there where the iris petal stops and the space around it begins. I had outlined it with the silver pen, but I like really highlighting the brightness of the iris through explaining the dark in the background. So that's why I'm using the bluish colour to come up to meet it as well as outlining it. Put that down because I'm getting a bit of a sore shoulder. I'll be looking after my body now after I was dancing in the woods there last week, and to be honest, I mean, I really love it. I was giving it laldy, it was going a bit wild, and at the time it felt fine. I think I remember hearing this from my aunts when I was growing up, that, you know, at the time you feel fine, and then afterwards you realise you've overdone it. And I think, you know, the cartwheels and the handstands and everything, and barefoot charging about in the woods was all just a little bit too much for me, and I needed to recuperate there for a couple of days. So I'm aware now of, I've got a radar up for any tension that might rise in my shoulders and things, and I'm telling myself to take it easy. When that happens, take it easy. No, I don't want an outline around it all. You know, that's a bit annoying when there's just like a similar width of background colour around everything. I don't like the feel of that. So I'm conscious of moving here and there and changing the consistency of the paint, but I think it does still need to be quite dark. Up here as well, it's really nice and dark. And there. And considering as well ways of making the petals read as being even brighter than they are there. So now that's, yeah, some of the petals aren't quite as bright as the whitest ones. Like the white there is really bright. That arc of white, that's really bright. The yellow here is really, maybe I'll put some yellow in there. It's really yellow there. And over here as well. And then there are parts of the iris that could be considered maybe more cerulean blue, which is a different blue I'll show you in a minute now. The blue I'm using at the moment is the one for the background, ultramarine blue. Maisie's away with the dog walker today. I'm expecting her back any minute now. To be honest, I was expecting her back about an hour ago, but it's great that she'll be wiped out now after her running. She charges around the field with the other dogs, and unlike me, she's up for it. She's got the vigour, and the youthful vigour still. That'll be green. Yeah, and this here will be nice and dark. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've overdid it now, putting the background everywhere. I'll just blow some of that away. No. I think I could probably do with bringing some sap green in to the stem. And here too. There's a little bit of green there. Okay, so I was thinking about using the cerulean blue. This is the cerulean blue here. I thought that might work as a colour for the slight shadows that are on the iris. Some places in the iris are in shadow. I also would like to use this cerulean blue, for example, in a portrait on a beard or something, just to give it a quality of like a different colour from the skin, without it looking too dark. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job of this really. I'm wondering if there's something else I could do to make it a bit more what I want. See, the thing that I loved about it was the curl of the shape. I feel like I want to clarify that again. Just look at the frilly edges of the petals here and there again. Here too. Oh, the pen doesn't work, obviously, over water. Yeah, it's iris-ish looking. I think I could make it a bit more something. I think maybe the dark, I could use that black on the lines in here. Of course it's not working now after dipping it in the water. Coming back, I think. The other thing I've got is the white acrylic paint. Gosh, that's lovely, isn't it? A white acrylic pen might just bring in another bit of clarity too. Oh, I think I hear music. No. Somebody else. Not so sure about that grey either there. The gold, I mean. I think I could do with being subdued a little bit. Just to set it black. And then that lovely green marker might work again here and here, just to clarify. And it's not great, but it's not a disaster. A bit more of that dark black. Quite like that there. I'm going to see if I can recreate the same thing here. I've fallen out of my routine a little bit recently with my desire to completely chill out. I've stopped doing my yoga, and the last couple of days I've not really done my meditation either. And I think those two things, I want to take them up again because those were quite good ways for me to introduce myself to painting. So the third thing would be, if I got away without walking Maisie for that length of time after doing the two, yoga and meditation, I would then launch into a bit of painting. And then I'd take Maisie out. It was a bit of a tight squeeze, the whole lot really. I also needed to eat something. So I think maybe I could do it, having a look at that routine and see if there's a more empathetic way to do all of those things that I want to do. Yeah, the yoga was getting shorter and shorter. It was regularly like 5 minutes of yoga. Meditation would be 20 minutes. And then, depending on how Maisie was, she could be chomping at the bit, chasing the cats and everything by then. So I'd have needed to take her out for a walk. And sure, then I wouldn't get around to doing a video until later on in the day maybe. Or if you've been following me, as you noticed, not at all doing any video for about a week there. Sometimes happens me too. Here we are now. What about that? A bit more cerulean blue maybe in this one here. That's okay. Quite like the option of coming back in with a lighter edge. And it's good that this acrylic pen more or less works over what's underneath. Right, I'd say I might call it a day. There's the kind of an iris. Yeah, I mean it's kind of, it's like a cage there. Some days I'm very compassionate with myself and I'm okay with me doing things that aren't quite what I want. And other days I have less patience. This you might notice is one of those other days. Right, now I think I'm just going to stop. Move you back. Oh, just hit myself with the camera there. Okay, thanks for joining me. There's the iris, and you can see it in the distance there, the one I was trying to create. I would have ordered that to be a bit more delicate, the yellow, so maybe I'll use ink, a collage or something later on to create something more undulating for those yellow petals. But in the meantime, I'm going to stop there. I think I can hear Maisie now. All the very best. This is Anya Divine saying goodbye. Maisie saying hello. See ya. Bye.